everyone, it's me, Joyce, and I'm going to be critiquing your work. And I thought I would do it as a group critique so you all could learn from each other's images that you submitted. This first one is Marion's, and Marion is from Germany, so I'm sure it is Monday there while I'm doing this on a Sunday. Pretty sure it is. Or you're just waking up on a Monday. Okay, as I look at, so what I'm going to do is, for those of you that are new to my class, what I like to do is I like to critique live, tape this so you all can see it, and I can give you more of a visual, okay? Now, Marion was having, she said she was having trouble with the fact that it was a still life and it was realistic. Apparently, she said that in her country, this wouldn't be considered art. And Marion, you're probably right. In the U.S., this isn't considered art either in a lot of circles of artists. However, what I like about painting a still life is the challenge of the glass, and it's a challenge of the shapes, and it's a challenge of finding the shapes, within the shapes that are abstract that creates this still life. But I do understand what you're saying about, whether this is really art or not, copying from a reference photo. But it's a great exercise in, honing your skills as a watercolorist, okay? So, right here, and I want to thank you, Marion, because for you to take my class when the belief is just the opposite of what I do, I feel really honored that you would take this into consideration. So, I hope you are okay with me, critiquing and adding. And I know you are because you sent it in. Okay, let's get started. So what I have is one of my steps right here, and then we're going to compare, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that I love in this painting. So when I look at it on the monitor, and I'm just wondering if this image does it justice, because I'm seeing some really pretty things that are happening in this painting. This glow that she kept down here on the garlic is just wonderful, because I know for me, I get heavy-handed and I'm thinking dark to light, but she created it so it was gray. It was gray, and I'm gonna get something other than my pinky finger here. So she created this so it had a little bit of a glow coming this way, right? And I do like that. I love your onions. These are really, really, really quite nice. And the movement that you found is the correct movement of the glass. Now, if you were just to call it a day on this, it's a very good still life. You could have, finish up the garlic and pretty much call it a day. But my theory as a watercolorist and as a still life artist for glass is, let's take it to the next level, and let's see if we can get, squeeze another 10%, 20% out of this image and really make it sing, okay? So when I look at this area right here, and it's hard. It's really hard to distinguish what's going on in this area, round and round and round right here, okay? What it is, it's the base of the vase, and it does have these separations of the swirliness coming up, okay? Now, how do we make that look like it's beveled? Because it's beveled and then it's round, beveled, and round. Well, jumping I see what's happening here. What's interrupting this movement is this. it is jumping a little too quick from value to value. So you have a really dark value here, and then up here it's a light to medium value. So what you can do is take, I'm going to show you, I had this other piece of paper here so I could show you what value I'm talking about. So this is a phthalo blue, and you can glaze right over some of these shapes and connect them. Okay, so let's do this. Come on up, and I'm going to show you. See right here, and you can just kind of tap, tap, tap a little bit of blue, and then skip over to the next one and tap some more blue right there. Okay, and then that blue will pull these shapes together, and it'll start making sense. Okay, now look, I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to tap, tap, pull, turn. Okay, and that is a phthalo blue, and it's okay to, I would use a phthalo blue at this point because you do have your blue, your black, so blue, black, but we need the values to not jump as quickly, meaning you have value number 10, and then the next one next to it is like a value 4. So you want it to be almost reading as 10, 9, 8, 7. You could skip a couple, of course, and then find your lighter values. Or if you want to simplify it, say, do you see what's happening right here? I just pulled some of those shapes together. Let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, it's late. Okay, so let's say there's still a big jump here while it's wet. You can come in, tap, tap, add another little pass of a dark blue-gray if you like. And Carol from Hawaii had asked a question in the discussion board. She said, when you say blue or something about the blue moving into the gray, is that a gray or is it a blue? Well, it's both. It's both. It's gray and blue because that's what I see when I look in this glass. It's gray, it's blue. It's gray, it's blue. And then sometimes every now and then you get the red of the onion, and you can actually drop that red right into here. So when I'm painting glass, I'm thinking in terms of what color is the glass picking up. It's got to be picking up the reds. It's got to be picking up some of these yellows throughout, because when the light comes through the glass, it picks up all the colors. Okay, so don't be afraid about. First and foremost, don't be afraid about adding more color. If you want to, you can go to town, and that's the beauty of doing a still life in glass, is that you can take creative license and just go to town. For instance, I am mixing up a little bit of a transparent yellow, and up in here, and the garlic is one of those things that picks up, the white of the garlic picks up color. So you can actually take a little bit of yellow if you like, because this jump is too quick. And I don't know, maybe in all fairness to Marion, I'm sure this is, she hasn't completed this portion of things yet. And the sad thing is that I'm painting on printer paper right now, and if I add a color, there's no lift in it. Okay, so right there. You can take a little bit of burnt sienna, if you like, pick that up and drop some in there, And don't be worried about going too dark too soon, okay? Now, some of these edges here, I see a black continuous line. And in some areas of the glass, yes, it does have that. But sometimes it looks like you're trying to make this shape pop forward here, and that's great. That's a good idea. But when you do that, and I do that a lot, make it a shape that does, dissolve that line and include more shapes within that, and then you're going to get a little bit more of a smoother transition of that shape. Okay, so this painting is looking very, very good, and it's hard to know when it starts to turn a corner, right? If it's your first time painting glass. And I find when we do teach, when I do teach glass online, it's the first week's very frustrating because I know some of you start off with, let's see, I'm going to go over to Carol. Here we go, Carol. Carol from Hawaii. She started off, her and I are kind of, this is her second time that she's taken my class, so I know Carol. And we've talked about the fact that both her and I are heavy-handed. Heavy-handed for me, you know, kind of gave me a little niche in the watercolor world. Heavy-handed for Carol is probably something a little bit different when she paints her subject, and it works for her subject. And then you have to figure out, how does my style work in here? Well, your style is working really wonderful here, this heavy-handedness that you claim that you have. All you have to do is be patient. And this one she asked if she could redo, and she did redo it, and I'm going to show you that really quick. I'm not going to critique this one because there's hardly anything there for me to critique. But it's a great start. It's a beautiful start. She started understanding the bevel. Carol, you started understanding the bevel. This one, it's almost like when we start a still life and I say put it down on your darks. It's almost like it's a moment of survival. Just let me get these darks down right. And it's scary because the darks against the white makes it look even darker. Okay? And that's why I think I was hearing from all of you that you wanted to start over. And that's fine too. If you feel confident enough to start over and you feel like you're going to learn a little bit more by starting over, please do. Now, Carol, what I'm doing with the reject, your reject, but this is great. I'm so happy that you posted it. Thank you. And I don't see it as a reject. I see it as something that we just, you just didn't have enough time to develop, or you just didn't want to develop it because you knew you had a new plan, and that's fine, a new vision for your still life. Now, but what I'm doing here is exactly what I did with Marion, and I am adding a little bit of phthalo blue here, and I'm bringing some of these shapes together. It kind of helps me distinguish, the direction that everything's in, because you start off with, oops, I'm sorry, this is flopping down on us. You start off with those dark shapes and you're like, what direction is this going in? But I see you picked up on that direction right down here, and you can just add a little blue. Then the blue helps you find that direction in the still life, and start adding a little bit of blue here, because let's face it, if you said, and if I know you still have this piece in your studio, so go ahead and play with